A wave breaks in the void and, suddenly, possibility rises. Bitcoin, the restless wanderer, lifts itself above new heights, an arc of golden light against a leaden sky. I wake to these numbers like a whisper in a dream, at once surreal and sharply real, and the weight of expectation presses against the quiet before dawn. There's a peculiar poetry in waking to hope flickering when all around the tremors of panic shiver through the world's markets. Subscribe. If only because you want to follow me down this rabbit hole of uncertainty and wonder, chasing every ripple and every calm in this sea of digital fortunes. It's here that we become more than bystanders. Join, and ring the bell so nothing slips by in the flow, so none of the sudden swells or silent dips evade you. Elsewhere, chaos reigns. Not here, not exactly, not in the stretch of these American charts, which hold stubbornly flat, but in places far from my window. Markets in parts of Asia gasp beneath sudden downturns, financial hubs across the Middle East reel, and global exchanges tremble under the pressure of uncertainty. The air is thick with doubt, and it is as if the world itself is pacing on the edge of something momentous and fragile. War flickers on the horizon, oil seeps into every headline, traders tremble and speculate, and yet, in the eye of this hurricane, Bitcoin rises. Not with triumph. This is not a victory march, but with a quiet kind of defiance, with an intimacy that feels personal. I linger in this moment. How many times did I believe the story that Bitcoin would crash hand in hand with the world's chaos? How many mornings have I woken with fear? Today, I sense a secret bell tolling. Bitcoin seems strangely detached from the cacophony, more a witness than a victim. So few assets dare to drift their own ways these days, and I cannot help but admire that stubborn solitude. Sometimes, to be uncorrelated is to look bad when the world smiles, and to glow dimly when the world cries. Is that not, in some sense, a quiet act of courage? If you're still following, click like. I'll wait. It takes a heartbeat, maybe two. And, if a thought sparks within you, share it below. Does this strange resilience mean something to you? Has hope become a trickster in your mind, or does it steady your hand? The narrative almost writes itself. Once, large holders sold and the tide receded. Now, over recent weeks, massive amounts of Bitcoin appear to have been quietly absorbed by investors whose hands rarely tremble. For a long time we watched capital drifting away from these grand financial bridges that link traditional markets and crypto, yet lately the winds feel different. Something subtle is shifting beneath the surface, as if trust is slowly being stitched back together in the dark. We rarely notice it while it happens. Only when price breaks upward do we suddenly realize the tide had already turned. The sentiment remains heavy, wounded by memories of deep drawdowns over the past months, but beneath that defeat I sense preparations for something else. There is a faint, fragile optimism breathing under the loss. Cycles move quietly. Some of the very investors once mocked for their caution are now the ones holding firm, steady hands refusing to let the future slip away. In this embrace of paradox, fear laced with conviction, I find a strange kinship. My thoughts break into images. Institutions weaving their way into crypto, the old world and the new world meeting at crossroads. High-frequency traders, their algorithms darting through the dark, shape volatility that hums through weekends while the rest of the world sleeps. I imagine oil prices someday quoted through tokenized markets, traditional financial terminals blinking in recognition as the future quietly intrudes upon the present. The rules are changing. 24 hours, 7 days. A perpetual dance, a market without rest, where fatigue is not a glitch but a feature. My mind aches for those institutional traders now forced to learn the exhaustion that crypto veterans have known for years. There is something beautifully cruel about it, as if the universe is balancing the scales. Yet beneath all this motion, the quiet revolution persists. A vault here, a vault there. Asset management built not overnight, not in a single cycle, but slowly over time. Yield, once a word haunted by collapse, begins cautiously returning in new forms. Everything here is visible on chain, every mechanism exposed to public scrutiny. The old financial world hid its wounds behind closed ledgers. This new world cannot hide them. And perhaps, in that brutal transparency, there is redemption. This year, really, this entire stretch of months, has been madness and promise. Everyone is building, quietly and urgently. The largest names in traditional finance, institutions older than the modern internet itself, now wander these corridors searching for ways to remain relevant in a world reshaped block by block. Excitement and fear walk side by side, twins building and undoing with every new development. I think of these new financial vaults, simple in concept, profound in implication. Imagine gathering scattered opportunities across the ecosystem and placing them into a single visible structure, tradable and transparent. It is more than convenience. It hints at a reinvention of finance itself. Banks, wallets, neobanks, exchanges, all competing for position, each desperate not to miss the next wave. If you fail to offer the future, you risk losing the present. And yet risk never disappears. Yield whispers sweetly, but every promise echoes with the memory of past collapses. Voyager, BlockFi, Celsius. Those scars remain etched into the industry's memory. What we hope now is that the new systems are built differently. Transparent, visible, honest in their mechanics. Loss, if it arrives, will at least reveal itself openly. Behind the scenes, regulation continues its uneasy dance. Legislative proposals appear and vanish, debated endlessly while lobbyists whisper in quiet hallways. The banking world senses the ground shifting beneath it. The fortress cannot hold forever. New financial platforms breach the walls, offering alternatives that move faster than regulators can write the rules. Even so, small breakthroughs appear. Long-standing crypto companies negotiate with central banks. New financial charters emerge in unexpected jurisdictions. Pilot programs quietly test the boundaries of what is possible. Traditional institutions, from names like BNY Mellon to State Street, feel the pull of this current. ETFs were merely the first doorway. The real transformation lies ahead, and the future, shimmering at the horizon, is increasingly shaped by artificial intelligence. Here two immense forces meet: crypto and AI. The boundaries blur. One day, trading instructions may be spoken aloud, interpreted instantly by intelligent systems acting on your behalf. Opportunities multiply, but so do the risks. One wrong command, one misunderstood signal, and losses could ripple through systems at lightning speed. Yet innovation rarely waits for perfect safety. AI pushes markets toward efficiency and speed unimaginable just a decade ago. Already, major crypto platforms experiment with systems where automated agents execute transactions directly on-chain, interacting with protocols while their users sleep. Integration accelerates relentlessly. There are no weekends here, only progress. And doubt remains. Voices of skepticism still echo through the financial world. Some legendary investors warn that Bitcoin cannot replace gold, that new technological threats may someday challenge its foundations. Fear sells easily. It always has. Yet even some critics quietly hedge their doubts, holding small positions just in case the future proves them wrong. And here we are. If you have stayed with me through this journey, through metaphor and market, through fear and hope, then you know this truth already. On the far side of darkness, light often feels miraculous. Like today, when Bitcoin climbs higher while the wider world trembles. There are no certainties here except one. Change arrives uninvited, and those who meet it with curiosity often fare better than those who resist it. Take a breath. Like the video if hope tightens your chest even slightly. Comment. Tell me where you stand, what you fear, what you believe. Let's build a conversation as alive as the market itself. And above all, don't drift away. Subscribe, ring the bell, and let yourself be carried along whenever the tides of crypto turn. For every crash there is the possibility of flight. Watch the next video. Let's keep searching for the heartbeat beneath the chaos. I'll be here.